Did you know that globally fraud losses exceeded $440 billion in 2025 alone, and they're still rising? At the same time, more than a quarter of consumers say they've lost money to digital fraud in the past year. Fraud isn't just growing, it's evolving and fast. Hi, I'm Allchin, Research Director at RFI Global. At RFI Global, we track how 200,000 consumers and 60,000 businesses interact with financial services every year. At the end of 2025, we identified fraud and cybersecurity as one of the defining trends for 2026. 6 months on, it's clear it isn't just a trend, it's becoming one of the biggest forces shaping customer behaviour, trust and competition globally. Fraud losses have surged to hundreds of billions annually, driven by organised criminal networks operating at scale. As we highlighted in our Trends and Predictions report, AI is accelerating the threat. Criminals are using voice cloning, deep fakes and synthetic identities to run highly personalised scams that are harder than ever to detect. According to Interpol, AI-enabled fraud is already more profitable than traditional methods and is lowering the barrier to entry for criminals worldwide. Put simply, fraud is no longer just a cyber issue, it's a global, real-time industry. What's particularly interesting is how this is playing out across markets. In the UK, fraud remains one of the biggest threats to the financial system, with more than $1 billion lost annually, according to UK Finance. In the US, cybercrime losses exceeded $20 billion a year, reflecting both the scale of the market and the continued reliance on legacy payment systems. In Canada, RFI Global data shows that 33% of consumers have experienced phishing calls, text or emails in the last 12 months. However, encouragingly, 81% of those impacted reported the incident to their bank. In Australia, consumers increasingly expect fraud alerts and monitoring to be integrated into digital banking experience as standard. And in Singapore, there is a strong openness to AI-driven fraud prevention, alongside very high expectations for secure digital experiences. It's also encouraged to see fraud responses as a trigger for main bank switching, falling from 16% at the end of 2025 to just 6% by mid-2026, reflecting improved safeguards and clearer accountability across the industry. While fraud is global, consumer expectations around security differ significantly by market. The biggest shifts we're seeing is this: security is no longer just a back office function, it's becoming part of the customer experience. Consumers aren't simply asking whether they're protected, they're asking whether they can see, control it and act on it. Our data shows that fraud response directly impacts retention, with 1 in 10 customers globally considering switching their banks based on how the fraud is handled. It's a fundamental shift. Security is no longer just about preventing loss, it's about creating confidence, visibility and control. Looking ahead, 3 trends will define the market. Firstly, AI on both sides. Financial institutions will continue using AI to strengthen detection, while criminals will use it to make scams more sophisticated and scalable. Secondly, collaboration. Fraud is no longer just a banking problem, it requires coordination across financial institutions, telecom providers, technology platforms and regulators. And third, experience-led security. The leaders won't simply be those with the strongest systems behind the scenes. They will be the organisations that make security visible, intuitive and easy for customers to manage. Fraud has evolved and it's not slowing down, but financial institutions still have one critical advantage: trust. Strong protection, smart use of AI and meaningful customer controls won't just reduce risk, they will turn security into a genuine competitive advantage in 2026 and beyond.